call this meeting of the Columbia County Board of Commissioners to order for this Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2016. This time I'd like to ask Commissioner Richardson if he would offer up our invocation.
Let us pray. Lord Jesus, we come to you and we thank you for this day, and Lord, the many blessings you bestowed on this county. And Lord, I do want to mention there are people with heavy hearts today, and Lord, we just ask for comfort for them. And Lord, we just ask you to be with them and just guide them. Lord, we ask you to be with our county as we go back to school, and we ask for safety for the teachers and the kids, and Lord, just may it be a good year for them. Lord, we ask you to watch over the men and women that serve to give us the freedoms that we may meet here. Lord, we just ask you to lead us and guide us in all we do. All these things I pray in your precious name. Amen.
Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have a quorum tonight with all 5 commissioners present. If you've had a chance to look at the minutes of our previous meeting of July the 19th, accept a motion for their approval or for their correction.
So moved. Second.
Any items needing discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Mr. Johnson, I believe we had a few changes and information on the agenda. Would you give us a little rundown on that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, for your consideration, we've asked to add items I-3A, which is a temporary construction easement for Marshall Square Development, and I-3B, which is an encroachment agreement for Heritage Homes of CSRA. And then we've also added one item regarding litigation and executive session consideration.
Okay. Any other items needing to be considered? We'll proceed with the agenda as amended. Again, I want to welcome you to this meeting of the Commission. And if these proceedings are videotaped, if you'd like a copy of the disc, be glad for you to make application to our county clerk here, and we'll see that you get one. Remind you, too, that after a couple of days, they'll be on the county website for your, I'm sure, viewing and total enjoyment pleasure, whenever you really have time to do something like that. But again, too, that you're invited to speak to this body. If you're not already on the agenda, we do ask that you fill out a speaker form in the back of the room, bring it up to Ms. Crawley, and we'll recognize you at the proper time during the meeting. I do see Mr. Beasley and Ms. Galino out there. You withdrew your request to speak, correct? Okay. I don't know why I wrote that on there. So we'll add you back to that list. Also, under special recognition, we have a couple of uniformed people here with us, other than our man in blue in the back, which is always here and very comforting. But welcome to this meeting, this Boy Scout from Troop 686, Aaron and Virgil Flint. They made it to Riverview United Methodist Church in Evans, and thank you for being here. I hope you might slip up and learn something. Well, not necessarily you, but your scout. We have had a request on one of these items concerning a variance of 4454 Greystone Way to be withdrawn without prejudice. We've had a couple of people that wanted to speak on that. Is Miss Judy Teasley present? We had another request from Sean Hammond. Sean, do you want to have anything to say on this? We'd be happy to do that. Thank you. We also have a request excuse me, to speak from Mr. Matt Keels concerning our massage ordinance compliance. Is Mr. Keels here? Would you come on forward, please?
Hi, just a couple of things again. Matt Keels. My wife and I own Tuscany Classic Negus. I get stuck having to do stuff. We've got a lot of massage professionals coming forward trying to get the paperwork right and operator's license. And they seem very confused as to what they need. I know there's an issue with background checks and that taken.
We have some information on that. Mr. Slaughter, would you give us a little update on your work this afternoon?
Yes, sir. I spoke with the sheriff about the background checks, and we did have some confusion with GBI, FBI. There is a code that is required to be input into the system to process through the GBI and the FBI. That code does not exist for a massage therapist. We were able to find a way to still obtain the background check without doing that. We can go through the process using a general license request. That's what we can do now. So instead of requiring a fingerprint background check, now it's just based off your generic information, social security number, name, address. It's input into the system, and it processes through no problem. So tomorrow morning, the sheriff's going to start processing all those applications.
All the massage therapists now can just go to the sheriff's
Correct.
office.
That has been worked out.
I think you can actually go to the licensing office and they'll send you.
We'll send it there for them.
Okay, so no fingerprint
No fingerprint at this point.
Okay, well, I'm sure they'll appreciate hearing that. The other thing is the fact that massage has been classified on the allowed use table kind of at odds with state law because we're lumped or excluded from the medical and put into just a general personal service. And when it comes to the allowed use table, we're given a C designation. I think means if somebody wants to locate, we're given a C across the board where this kind of business is allowed, which would mean any new business that tried to open as a massage therapy business with a new address, that kind of stuff, would have to come before the commission with a packet to get you guys to say okay to that. Is that correct?
Conditional zoning, is that what you're saying?
Yes,
So it's conditional in every
every category.
then it would require approval.
Of only two. So that's my understanding. That's a $600 fee to get that process started.
Yeah,
I think it's 615.
615,
That's
yes,
for
sir.
any zoning,
Yeah.
not just massage, any kind of zoning
Right,
change.
but if we had an A here allowable, I could just start a business, get an OC tax, start my business without the $600.
Good.
And that's the way all of the medical aspects in the use table are done. State law actually forbids municipalities from charging a tax to the massage therapist activities that they don't also charge to other healthcare activities. So you have a $600 tax on all massage care business openings here that you don't do with other occupations. So you have an occupational license that you're getting us with, and there's a little fee, and I realize I think you guys have kept that fairly small, which you're going to be looking at a background check and going over somebody who wants to start a business ad nauseum. We've got to get your business tax, your OX tax, like every other business does. And now, by being lumped out of the regular medical community, and we're designated healthcare professionals in state law, now we also have a $600 tax and an additional that we're going to have to go through to open a business. As a massage school owner, I need my students to be able to get out of school and go to work. Some of them want to open their own business, and $600 and another fee and another background check and another process to go through is getting, frankly, just a little ridiculous. Considering the nature of this business, we helped you write the occupational ordinance and gave you plenty of teeth to put people out of business who were doing bad things and to prevent people from getting a business license who were engaging in bad practices. At this point, and I don't know, just not sure what the negative connotation associated with massage in this day and age is, because we made great strides over the past to upgrade the standard. And I think most people feel like they can recognize a place that's maybe questionable. Either stay away from it, making a personal choice, or they can register a complaint and have it investigated if they want to. So I would request that we be put on the allowed use table up under the medical, and our C's turned to A's, because you're already investigating us out the wazoo with the current standards. And again, I think that tax does violate state law.
I'll be happy to look into the legality of that, depending on the commission's desire to
I think we do need to look at it if it is singling out one single profession. Of course, it's not, I guess, by word a tax, it's a fee. Guess you can argue that all day
And
long.
Roberts
but-
established that at the Supreme Court level. If the county government charges it, it's a tax. If any government charges it.
Well, no, we won the
that-
case on the
we-
stormwater fee.
We
It's
fought
not a
that fight
tax.
pretty well on something else, so not every charge is a tax, our fees.
But I do think
But
it
I'll be
needs to
happy to
look
look
at.
into the legality of that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And now we have Mr. Joe Galino from Beasley Homes, concerning an item that'll come up a little later in the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Co-Chair, staff, commissioners, thanks for hearing us today. I don't know how you got the request that we didn't want to speak. I'm Italian, I love to talk, so I don't know how you got that. But I apologize if there was a miscommunication that didn't come from us.
No, it's no problem. You're welcome to.
Say what? I still use my hands, though. I want to talk a bit about Willow Oak Village. We have requested a change of conditions to increase the lot count from 413 to 450. It's an increase of 41 lots. Now, I want to go through the body of the history of this a little bit to give you a little bit of a background. Our original zoning, RZ 06-08-01, dated on August 17th, a lot density of 413 is not listed as a condition. It also was not listed as a condition in the Board of Commissioners meeting minutes of September 12th, nor from a letter, in a letter from Jeff Browning, who I believe at that time was planning director, which was also dated September 15th. At the Planning Commission meeting of October 17th, 2013, a county-initiated rezoning. It was county-initiated. We didn't initiate it as the owners of Willow Oak. County-initiated rezoning of RZ 13-10-6, change of conditions, eliminated a 10,000 square foot requirement. We were required under our zoning to have no less than a 10,000 square foot lot. The 10,000 square foot requirement was a condition of the original zoning on August 17th due to a lack of sewer capacity. Removal of this condition would have allowed us to size our lots at 6,000 square feet according to our zoning, which was an R2 RCO. This was approved by the Planning Commission on that date, but for some reason I cannot find in your minutes where it was approved by you. Wait. At the Planning Commission meeting on November 21st, 2013, a county-initiated rezoning, RZ 1310-6, the same rezoning, change of condition was again presented to the Planning Commission, only this time the condition of 413 lots was added as a condition. And it was added as per the concept plan of 2006, which was attached. This was approved at the BOC meeting, according to the minutes, on December 3rd, 2013. I'm a little confused on why it was presented to the Planning Commission twice when it was approved in October without the condition and then resubmitted again in November with the commission. All of this was, again, county initiated. I was at the October meeting. I had no idea of the November meeting because I felt that at the October meeting, it was a done deal. Now, in the criteria for evaluation of the rezoning proposal, which was prepared by the planning staff and presented to the Planning Commission, there were 7 items that were brought up. Number 1, the staff states that the use is appropriate. Our proposal, add those lots, was appropriate, but the increase in density is not keeping with the surrounding existing character. We are not going for a rezoning, we're just going for a change of conditions. We already have the rezoning for that lot, or for that parcel. We are proposing to keep the same lot size as the previous 5 sections of Willow Oak Village. We are proposing some buffers along the perimeter as well as between the lots. We are leaving green space. The other properties in that area are zoned RA, which is residential agriculture. They are bigger lots, but they're also bigger lots due to the fact you have to have septic and well. You have to have a bigger lot because there is a distance between your septic and your well that you have to maintain. Our area is on city water. county water and sewer. We believe that because of our layout with the additional buffers, the additional 41 lots will not have any effect on that area. Number two, your staff stated that our proposal will not adversely impact the surrounding areas. Do agree, we're not going to adversely impact it. Now, bear in mind, the staff recommended this approval. Number three, the staff states that the property has reasonable economic use as zoned. However, disallowing 41 additional lots, which is 10%, will adversely affect our economics. The staff states that the proposal will not excessively burden the streets, the facility, the utilities, or the schools. Right from your staff. We agree with that. Number five, the staff stated that according to the Vision 2035 Growth Management Plan, and I haven't seen that, the property is in a proposed neighborhood characteristic area. The density for this neighborhood character area is 1 to 4 units per acre. Willow Oak, according to that plan, again, I have not seen or even read, is allowing 1 to 4 units. Our proposal of 450 homes is set at 2.37 units per acre, which is well within the intended density of the neighborhood character area. The staff has also stated that the lack of a left-hand turn lane, and I'm figuring that's at Wrightsboro Road going on to Hamilton, adding the 41 additional lots is not recommended at this time. Now, what I don't understand with that statement is, first, your staff says it's not an excessive burden on the streets. And on the two items down, they're saying, well, the left-hand turn lane, you don't have it, so it's going to be a problem. Got to be one or the other. Now, getting back to the left-hand turn lane, the left-hand turn lane originally was set at one of my conditions. However, it was approved prior to my zoning at a Board of Commission meeting of May 17th, 2005, under a SPLOS. So, and it was specific to Hamilton Road. So that was taken out of my conditions because it was supposed to be done by the county. So your disapproval, the proposal, because of the lack of a left-hand turn lane, which is supposed to be installed by you, is giving me unreasonable restriction of my property, according to that statement. That's number 6. Staff states that your proposal does not meet a reasonable balance between the promotion of health, safety, welfare against the unrestricted use of the property. That's all they say. They don't tell me why they're making that statement. So I don't know. I can't argue that statement. The 413, and you can't put it up, but the 413 lot count was a plus or minus. It was on a concept plan that was based on the 10,000 square foot minimum lot size due to sewer capacity. It was determined at 10,000. That's how we came up with the lot count. As I stated before, this was removed on October 17th by the Planning Commission without a condition restricting the amount of lots. Now, if you're going to restrict the amount of my lots, why remove the 10,000 square foot? Might as well just leave it there. It didn't make any sense. We felt that it was removed there so that we can either lower our lots to a 6,000 square foot lot and gain increase in yield. But the rezoning on the 21st, again, eliminated it again and added the conditions. Staff stated in the original rezoning that the property could have been rezoned and optimally should have been rezoned R2. If it was, but it was rezoned to an RCO, R2 RCO, to give us some flexibility due to the capacity of sewer. Under the R2, the lot yield could have been as high as 708 lots in that near almost double, not quite, but almost double. The data indicates the proposal number of lots of 413 plus or minus again. The R2 zoning did not require open space, while the R2 RCO had a minimum of 1 acre. County staff asked for 20. We're providing 40, double the open space. Buffers are not required in an R2. County, as well as an RCO, R2 RCO. We are providing buffers throughout the development, not just on the perimeter, but in between lots that back up to each other. We are providing tree lines there. Buffer.
Mr. Galino, you're way over your time. Could you wrap it up?
Okay, well, in a sense, I'm sorry, I apologize. We are over 11, we're averaging 11,000 square feet on those lots, where we could have been at 6,000. We have provided a pool. We have provided some walking trails. We are providing future walking trails in there. We feel also the additional 41 lots will add $9,000 per year at today's dues to the HOA, the Community Association, to help them support their pool and their common areas. We feel it's a 10% increase in lots, 10%. I don't feel that that's being unreasonable. I think if you're going to hold me to a concept plan that has not been engineered, has not been environmentally studied, which changes plans, I think that's being unreasonable. I thank you for your time and for your consideration. If you have any questions, I'm free to answer them whenever you need to.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Move now to our consent agenda. These are items that's been through the necessary committee procedure and received the 3 votes to be put on consent. If you're satisfied with this list of items, we'll take motion to approve them as one vote.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Go now to our debate agenda. We come down first off to Commissioner Richardson.
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading of Resolution 16-1245, permit application for events.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. You would come down the list a little bit. I believe we got a considerable business with Commissioner Duncan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve Resolution 16-1246 as presented and authorize, as presented and authorize the chairman to sign all required forms and documents.
Second.
I believe this has to do with the millage rate for ad valorem taxes, sir.
No tax increase again.
Thing.
Discussion? All in favor? Item?
Is there anyone here from the Tabernacle Baptist Church?
We have a proclamation for them, but we'll present it to them at a later time.
Right, well, I make a motion to approve the proclamation.
Hospital.
I'm going to go back to it because this, I make a motion to approve the proclamation celebrating Tabernacle Baptist Church.
Discussion? All in favor?
Chairman, I make a motion to approve Resolution 16-1247, support of the Columbia County Hospital.
Second.
Would you read that resolution for us, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, sir, I will.
This is something that's very important to Columbia County. We're getting to the point it's rather ridiculous that the legal steps that Doctors Hospital and their parent group are taking to prevent us having a hospital. After the Department of Community Health agreed that we needed one, had a certificate of need, they have tried every legal maneuver and continue to try to stop that from going forward.
So the resolution reads, Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Columbia County, Georgia, supporting a hospital in Columbia County, Georgia. This resolution adopted by the Board of Commissioners of Columbia County, Georgia, the board, whereas the board desires to evidence the support of a hospital in Columbia County, whereas Columbia County is the largest county in the state of Georgia without a hospital, whereas the construction and operation of a hospital in the county will have a positive impact on the county and its citizens, whereas the Board of Commissioners received requests for proposals in January of 2014 from area hospitals to determine the best facility for the citizens of the county, and whereas the Columbia County Board of Commissioners is supportive of all whereas the Board of Commissioners is supportive of all the hospitals that presented proposals. However, with Augusta University being chosen by the Department of Community Health, the board and community are ready to move forward with hopes that all legal challenges will cease in the best interest of the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the board, and is hereby resolved by the authority of the same, that Columbia County and the board support the efforts of the Department of Community Health, Augusta University, and the community to bring a hospital to Columbia County. With the growth of the county, the board recognizes the need for a hospital to provide quality health care, diversity in the county's economy, create additional jobs, and and increase public safety while enhancing the quality of life in the county. Additionally, the board stands ready to provide all pre-identified financial support necessary for the construction of a hospital. To this end, the board opposes any and all legal obstructions that would prevent a hospital being built in Columbia County. Any resolutions previously adopted by the board which are in conflict with this resolution are hereby repealed to the extent necessary to eliminate such a conflict. This resolution shall take effect upon its adoption.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Johnson, I believe this will be transmitted on to the Department of Community Health or to any other agencies that's involved.
It will, Mr. Chairman. If approved tonight by the Board of Commissioners, we will certainly send it to Augusta University, and they will use it in their rebuttals to the ongoing legal challenges, I'm sure.
Have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. I believe we move on now to Vice Chair Allen for a couple of items.
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to disapprove the request for a change of conditions impacting multiple parcels to increase the maximum number of lots permitted located off of Hamilton Road and comprising the Willow Oak Village single-family neighborhood currently zoned R2 RCO.
Second.
We have one gentleman that'd like to speak against this, and we'll get to him in just a minute. Andrew, would you give us a little update on the reasoning behind staff's recommending for disapproval and the subsequent planning and zoning disapproval?
Well, it really comes down to condition that limited time the condition have smaller lots, but they odds as to whether move was made in order to whether it was engineered part of the original that area. I think there was some discussion several years ago. Traffic into the neighborhood out that turn lane. Past decision might have
Mr. Slaughter, I believe the traffic count at that time did not warrant the turn lane when the county said they would put it in.
Yes, sir. That vote was made just prior to my starting with the county, but it was an ongoing project to pave Hamilton Road. So my recollection of the county committing to that was part of getting the permit to actually pave Hamilton Road. We did put the right turn lane in onto Hamilton Road off of Wrightsboro Road, but we asked DOT not to require the county to install it based on the number of houses on Hamilton Road. County did commit that if the traffic counts ever did get above the required trigger for a left turn lane, that we would cause the left turn lane to be installed. That was the recollection I had. However, that vote was prior to my being here, so I was not involved in those meetings.
Okay. Mr. Christopher Hall would like to speak on this issue. Mr. Hall, would you come forward?
Good afternoon, Chairman, and everyone. Yes, my name is Christopher Hall. I live at 484 Sebastian Drive. I represent a lot of the folks that live there. I won't say a lot, but a few concerned members of the community that we live in. When we moved inside this location, one, right off the bat, has been told to me and my family, along with multiple families that I've spoken to. I mean, everyone that's been told to me that this subdivision was not supposed to be a large subdivision, even as it's identified here on the board here. This is concerned because a lot of the folks that came here to buy homes, they was looking to buy homes that was a small community. They didn't want to live into, myself, I never wanted to live in the city. I never lived in a city. I came from Washington State. I am retired Army. So I came from a small area myself. I always wanted to live in a small area. I love trees. I love to see trees. And I moved from my previous location where I lived at in Grovetown to move to another spot. And my only thing that I really wanted for my home was that I can have trees in my backyard and have some land. Other places I did look at, this is getting off the subject just a little bit, did have more acreage, but the house didn't support what I wanted to have. Additionally, from that right there, the HOA has not yet addressed, they said that they addressed the issue of the walking trail. They keep on saying we will. We will have a walking trail, whereas that it's identified when you drive up inside of our housing division that there is a walking trail. That is not existent. So if they're not fulfilling the promises that they've given us as purchasers of our community, what's to say they're going to do anything they promise you guys now? The community facilities right now, meaning the pool, because that's all we really have, is supposed to support 400 families. I came from a location in Washington State that had a pool maybe about the length of this right here, and that was for 5 people. Of course, it wasn't as wide as this here, but it was for 5 people. We're talking about a pool that's probably about as large as this right here for 400 people right now, and they're talking about adding more to it. One thing that was identified last time by the other gentleman is that housing subdivision is supposed to be accessed by a common access. Willow Oak is, if they have this other part, won't have that. So how is that other part's called Willow Oak, and we are also called Willow Oak when it's 2 separate entry spots? Just because they're going to put a bridge over there to connect to a swimming pool doesn't make it common access. Mr. Joe also identified that it won't affect the school situation. Moving from one location to another and having my child rezoned now twice since we've been here, that's not true, because right now my child, she was in a trailer because they don't have enough space to house the kids right now. So if they're gonna put more families inside here, because right now my child was inside of a crowded location. This is what we have right now. This is not including what he's planning to build. But I'm talking about what we have right now. My child is in a trailer, and I'm sure that the ones over in Columbia Middle School, those ones are overcrowded as well. As my child is now in Grovetown. So now we're going to be rezoned again because, I foresee it. That's just me thinking we're going to be rezoned again because if they put all these other houses bring kids means more to go inside the schools. The traffic situation, not sure if you gentlemen know or folks know that traffic situation going to Fort Gordon is rough. Of course, Grovetown is trying to build that, and if you're talking about putting more, the houses are being built right now. My belief, of course, and I don't know how you feel, the houses are being to cater to what's coming here to Georgia, which is the Cyber Command. That means more people going to Fort Gordon. So if you're building more houses to support the Cyber Command, you're building more people to go to that traffic. That means more traffic congestion, more accidents, and more issues. Sorry, going to my notes here real quick.
All right.
One of my other neighbors said that this issue with the flooding inside of their home because of the work they're doing back there over and around Sebastian Drive at 453 is still an issue. It's not yet fixed. I don't know how to exactly address that. I don't have the full information on it. I'm just giving some information from one of my neighbors here, but that's also one of the concerns that we have as well. There's numerous concerns that we have as far as homeowners and folks that live inside this area, but these things are not being yet addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any commissioner comments? Have a motion and a second?
So the vote is to expand it potentially 415 or 413 to 450 lots.
I don't know the number. I guess that's the correct numbers, but it's an expansion of
Three.
We have a motion to disapprove this request. We have a second. We have any further discussion? All in favor of the disapproval, please raise your right hand. Vice Chair Allen, we go straight, stay with you.
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for conditional use located at 114 South Bel Air Road to establish a tattoo business with associated art studio and gallery with conditions enumerated in the July 21st, 2016 Planning Commission.
Second.
Any discussion of this item? All in favor? Okay, next item, sir.
I would like to make a motion to approve the request for variances to Section 90-98 List of Lot and Structure Requirements, Section 90-133A3 Design of Parking Lots, and Section 90-140 Landscaping to reduce the front setback to match the existing building, permit the current parking configuration, and to waive the requirement for a landscape strip along Roberts Road located at 3927 Roberts Road, currently Zone C2, with conditions enumerated in July 21st, 2016 Planning Commission report.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item?
I would like to make a motion to approve the applicant for I2C4's variance their request to withdraw without prejudice.
Second.
This is a request to have a fence variance on Greystone Way. All in favor of the withdrawal? Mr. Morris, I believe you have an item coming up.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The revision to the drought management plan, first reading. I make a motion to approve the first reading of the ordinance 16-24, revision of Chapter 86, Article 3, Water Conservation, Section 81-1420.
Second.
Any discussion of this? This is to bring us in, I guess, lockstep or compliance with the state regulations along the drought management plan. All in favor? Commissioner Duncan, I believe we return to your side.
Make a motion to approve the stormwater utilities temporary construction easement with Maybom for Marshall Square Development.
Second.
Mr. Slaughter, this is to allow them to go ahead and start their grading when they're ready and have access to the county property?
Yes, sir. There's some areas outside of the area they own that they need to do some grading in. They need to do some tie into existing storm facilities, so this will allow them to do so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would say regarding the motion, it says for the Marshall Square development. This would be for the plaza development, so I'd just like to make that one correction, that it doesn't extend past the construction that we're talking about for the plaza.
This allows them to go ahead and start with the first phase of that program.
It does.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, Mr. Allen, we return to you.
I would like to make a motion to approve the encroachment agreement with Heritage Homes of CSRA LLC for 319 Little Branch Lane.
I'll say it.
This is just to allow a gentleman to build his house on part of the land that was, where a storm drain was put in incorrectly, and it affected his ability to make use of the of his property. Further discussion? All in favor? Okay. We have a couple of other items that we need to handle while we're here. We have a property item. Commissioner Morris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to approve $3,500 to the Gospel Water Branch Baptist Church to obtain right-of-way easement and/or property for the River Island Sewer Line Project.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Mr. Duncan?
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the settlement agreement and full release with Comcast Cable Communications Management LLC, subject to legal review, with proceeds deposited to the general fund for accounting purposes, then transferred to the TAB Capital Improvements Fund, Fund number 350.
Second.
Mr. Johnson or Mr. Driver would want to give us a little bit of an update on how this has been going on and what it really consists of?
This is a matter about franchise fees and the matter about how much franchise fees Comcast has been remitting to the county. We had a dispute. They were saying that they overpaid us franchise fees. We were telling them that they underpaid us significantly on franchise fees. This is a settlement of that dispute. I think the good result for the county, and the county approved it.
It also, Mr. Chairman, establishes the correct franchise fee be remitted going forward. So in addition to the back fees that were not collected, we've established that the proper fee will now be collected.
Congratulations on behalf of the legal firm and the administration for working through this. It's been ongoing for how long?
Couple of years.
Couple of years? I didn't know it was that long. Any discussion on that item?
I would like to compliment Mr. Driver. Good work. Real good work.
Wish I could say it was all me. There was a team of us, litigation team, Bill Keogh. I appreciate that.
All in favor of this settlement? Got one of those other legal items out of the way, then that's always good. Are there any additional requests to speak? Is there any additional business to come before this meeting of the commission? We had a few changes, and I'm not sure I've not left something out. Does anybody know that? Have we covered everything, Mr. Johnson?
I think we have, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say, give me just a moment, that the Board of Commissioners and the staff had a public work session today regarding our potential general obligation bond. The commission voted on that, to put that item on the ballot last meeting. We had a work session today to work through the project list to talk about some of those projects that may be included in that. Of course, that item will go before the voters in November, and they'll decide whether or not we get to move forward on that general obligation bond. But that said, we will start having a series of public listening sessions that will begin next Thursday, the 11th, and then we're going to have multiple listening sessions. But we just want to invite the public to come out to one or all of those listening sessions to provide their input on the project list for the general obligation bond. Staff and I believe commissioners will be there to hear from the public about the projects they'd like to see. We can unveil the projects that the board has decided to move forward with and answer any questions about those. And it's really we're really just going to try to educate the public as it relates to the projects and the need for the projects relating to the general obligation bond. Our Facebook page will be updated. All of our social media being active. We'll advertise the meetings that way. Also advertise them via other media outlets, our webpage. But I just want to publicly invite the public to those meetings.
I believe the first one will be held here, right?
The 11th is here, yes, sir. Here at 6 p.m. in this room. The next Thursday the 11th.
Any other business to come before this meeting?
I would just like to recognize my daughter Molly, who's here. Goes off to college again next week, maybe.
Did he pay you to come to this meeting, Molly? Did he pay you to come to this meeting? Well, he should.
Hey, watch it.
Take her out to dinner.
She's the last of the public, isn't she? Is there anybody else left here?
Boy Scout.
Oh, the Boy Scout? Obviously, I apologize.
That out.
Mr. Morris, you have anything to add?
I move that we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Well, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
I'm gonna drive over there. I was kind of hoping the storm would pass on through before I go over there.
Which way it's going?
Just blow another way.
Make sure that we get